call him the coffee with Malcolm on the cut.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Gotta keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We're good. We got audio over.
All right, Shalom. We are the brothers of the Great Millstone, the branch here in Chicago. And first and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory.
Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Rakakabash.
Double honors unto the apostles, double honors unto the elder bishops. Salutations to all my fellow laborers doing this work in truth and sincerity. All right, to all our brothers out there that's doing this work. All right, to the scattered elect that are scattered around the four corners of the earth, you know, among the heathens that look like the heathens, and to those few aquas that are listening and learning, we say Shalom. And like the title said, there's a lot to talk about. Where ain't on my channel.
That's a lot to talk about.
And one of the first things that we're gonna go in on is this whole coronation. And I don't know, brothers, because first of all, King Charles is a king of absolutely nothing.
Absolutely.
Bring it out.
You know, I mean, the evidence that they are not the royal family, they're not the actual royals of Europe. All that truth is out there. They live in Europe now, but they're not the royals. They're not those royal families that go back to to the time of Bruce the Black and King James and and
The Dark Ages.
Robert the Bruce and all that time, right? The Dark Ages, medieval times. All right, they're not those people. Right? And so one of the first things that I found interesting is that that the brother brought it out that the coronation was done 6 months after the death of Queen Elizabeth.
Right.
6 days. I mean 6.
6
months. 6 months, 6 days. 6 weeks and
6 months, 6 weeks,
and then
6 days.
Right. So that's how you get your 666. So 6 months, 6 weeks, and 6 days, and and they did, and it was May 6th. All right. So it's kind of it's if that's not a sign or of the time, then it clearly tells you that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. All right. And like I said, somebody can grab that. Absolutely, bro.
This is First Maccabees 1:9, and after his death, this is talking about Alexander. They all put crowns upon themselves, so that their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. Esau was just self-proclaimed himself to be a king when they're not a really official king. And it's funny about King so-called Charles. I actually met him when I was in grammar school. He came over to Whitney Young High School, and since our grammar school is right around the corner, even I eventually went to Whitney Young. They had the Secret Service and so forth on the groups and everything, and I actually have a picture shaking his bastard hand. They and when he was a so-called prince,
Right.
all right,
Prince Charles.
and Prince Charles. But now that his mom had died, they just made him king. This is one of Esau's motives of operandi.
If I may, quick scripture. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 6. It says, "Howbeit we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor of the princes of this world that come to naught." All right, them being in rulership right now, all right, it's ultimately going to come to nothing. Like the elder said, he's the king of nothing. Because his power, all right, is going to come to naught. His agenda ultimately is going to come to naught. It's going to come to nothing because any body on the earth that has a mindset contrary to the mindset of the Most High God is going to get conquered by the conquering lion. All right, so they're going to come to naught. This Prince Charles, King Charles, whatever, is going to come to naught, to nothing. This is 1 Corinthians 2 and 6.
Right, in Revelations, when it talks about Yahweh Shai coming back, it refers to him as the King of Kings. So when the Lord comes back, there's not going to be no democratic process. There's not going to be a choosing. It ain't going to be, they don't have this. Exactly. It's going to be a totalitarianism in righteousness.
In righteousness.
As a matter of fact, now he said that somebody just read Daniel 7 and 18 real quick. Because the Lord is going to set up His people,
Let's see.
right? And they're going. You got it, brother. And they're not. And there's going to be no negotiation. There's going to be no. It's not going to have some big old round table where all the nations sit down, rub their flags.
You know what, Charles? I think it's not being fair how you're treating them.
Yeah, so it's going to be. It's just going to be a complete dictatorship.
That's right.
From on heaven, from the heavens, from on high.
Yeah.
All right. There's going to be a new government.
That's right.
All right. And it's gonna and that government is going to consist of who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, whose name is Yahushua, who King David sitting on the throne yet again, once again. All right, and then the rest of the 12, the rest of the 12, and then the rest of the 144,000.
I got something, man, for that. Danny, you all good?
Come.
This is Daniel 7, and you said verse 10.
6.
Is it 7 and 18? The saints for the Most High.
Okay, yeah, okay. It's Daniel 7 and 18. I got one Daniel with that. It's Daniel 7 and 18, but the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom. Let me start. This Daniel 7, I'm going to jump down. Daniel 7 and 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down. So all the whatever rulership that's in this place right now will be thrown down.
So remember, when the Bible talks about mountains and hills, it's talking about governments.
Right.
So so basically all the governments in the UN right now, those are the mountains and hills, and all of them are going to be cast down.
Well, what do they call it? Capitol Hill.
That's it.
All right. So I beheld till the thrones were cast
If I
down.
was going to add to that, how is the United Nations still in America? If they were so great, it doesn't have nothing to do with the beast who's running this world. The United Nations headquarters is over here in New York. So go ahead, brother.
I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool, and his throne was like the fiery flame, and his wood was a burning fire. I gotta keep going. I was gonna jump. A fire restrained issue that came forth from before him, thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were open. So this shit gotta be destroyed, as the Bishop Yaki said, man. He don't like to be called elder. So as the Bishop Yaki said, this shit gonna be put to naught. All right, all King Charles, motherfucking Putin. All right, not a fart for the Putin. They all going down. All right, they all going down. Right. I beheld him because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld, which is America. I beheld even till the beast was slain. The UN, NATO, like Ellie Wright mentioned, that's that beast. Essentially Rome 2.0, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. This place will be burnt up.
That's right.
All right.
And they should not teach you that in churches. Matter of fact, they teach you in church that if you say shit, damn, or fuck, that's a sin.
Yeah.
And that's not. You know,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna change it, you know, but that's real change, right?
Yeah. I saw it in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven and came to the Ancient of Days, which Yahweh shall come to the Most High. And they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him.
Exactly. So let me add this to what you're saying before we continue on. I was trying to find an article that I was reading. The article was about the South Africans asking for the Culligan Diamondback that sits in one of his in a scepter. That's somebody look and see if they can look it up.
They're in the London Towers. I'll pull it up.
They're
in London Towers.
There's a scepter that he carries.
Yes.
And there's I think they dug it up over 100 years ago in South Africa, and it's just gigantic diamond. They're declaring him to be the ruler of the whole world, that he can drive any speed limit, that he can't get pulled over.
Diamond is the largest gem quality rough diamond ever found.
And so
weighing 3,100 carats. Shit.
There it is.
And they stole it, and they have it in their property.
And no, it's in his scepter.
Yes.
Right.
It's in the scepter. And then there's another precious stone that's in the crown.
Right.
And so these nations, he is being crowned king of the world. And they're like, hey, nah, you got to get it. We want that back.
That's right.
I'm gonna need to get that from.
He's like, oh, pay me.
Right. Oh yeah, you the king. Yeah, I'm gonna need that.
That's right.
Mm.
Because what they did is they went.
Well, I'm the king.
Well, I
I
never, and you never will.
never.
But that's what they did. They went and conquered these other nations and took their precious relics. Well, as the scripture says, how they did to us. They went into our place and took our crowns and our gold and our jewelry and took our things and our diamonds, right? And then they put it a part of their wealth. And then it's actually many countries that are asking the different European nations, Esau, to give them back their things that they've stolen from their nations.
Yeah, it's named after the nigga who owned the mine, which this diamond mine is in South Africa.
There you go.
Which the Edomite that owned the mine.
De Beers?
No, Sir Thomas Cullinan.
Elder,
That's why it's called the Cullinan diamond.
Yeah.
Exactly. And how is it that this Edomite owns a diamond mine in South Africa? All right. Did we not? Hey, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Right. Colonization is just a nice way of saying, you know,
Overthrow.
yank it.
oh, right. You didn't right. You jack it. You didn't jack somebody.
The Micah 2 and 1 and 2, they covered fields.
Get it.
Take them by
Get it.
While you get down, finish this out. And there was given him dominion and glory and the kingdom that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. And I started right there on what the Elder Malcolm called for, because hey, it's the kingdom of Israel, but it starts with Yahushua rule.
Huh?
So now I hit the verse.
Then, but didn't it say that they would serve him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Yahushua's gonna be the
servant.
biggest
So
slave
the
master.
word servant, you know, the root word of it, serve. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, I just wanted to be clear on that.
Yeah.
So that kind of, because that immediately brought to my mind Psalms, the 2nd chapter, and Revelation, the 26th
Right.
chapter.
Yeah. Hey,
And somebody can grab those.
I worry Yahushua will.
2:27. I already got it.
Yahushua will be the biggest slave master on earth.
That's right.
These
Say it again, brother.
Yahushua will be the biggest slave master on earth.
Say it again, brother. That's right.
That's right. This
I see yes.
now verse 15. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom
Take the kingdom.
and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. In Psalms 149, it says, "This honor have all my saints." And what was that honor? To grab up you fucking heathens, slap them chains on you, and put your ass in subjection to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushua.
That's right.
Praise
There's no way around it, man. Matter of fact, let me just hold on. I just want to run my mouth. Let me grab it. Run my mouth. With
Mouth.
PH.
All right.
PH. No.
With a PH at the end.
No, we talked about yesterday in the line. How is it that Austria holds the last Montezuma's headdress? How is it that these Austrians that had no part of the Mexican conquest were gifted by the Spaniards the headdress of the last Aztec emperor?
And then they made some bullshit excuse talking, well, we can't get it back because if we touch it, it just crumbles. Okay.
Look, Revelation 13, 9 and 10. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Right? He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Right now,
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
That's right.
The saints are patiently and faithfully waiting to put into chains and put to the sword those who put them in chains and those who put them to the sword.
And took all this shit.
Point blank, period.
The saints are Israelites.
Thus says the Bible.
Right.
And if you got a problem with it, you got a problem with the Lord. You know,
Right.
just because these lying-ass churches are teaching you the truth. They teach you this love, love, love doctrine, and that's not what the Bible's talking about.
That's right.
At all.
That's right.
All right?
That Micah 2.
Like the creator of everything is subject only to love. He can make you a human being that gets shot out of your brother's ball sack into a woman, develop a complex physiological system and nervous system, turn into a man, have emotions where you can be sad, happy, angry, but he only can love.
Right.
Yo, come at.
So in his word, he also says in Ecclesiastes, there's a time to hate and a time to love.
Exactly.
There's a time to kill and a time to be mended or to heal. All right. So it's a contradiction. All right. I had the mic. But go ahead.
This Revelations 2:26. And he that overcome and keep them all works unto the end. To him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessel of a powder should they be broken to silver, even as I received of my Father.
I just watched a movie that came out earlier this year, and it was called Medieval. And the movie was really a good movie, except for the fact that they had everybody, you know, all the important characters were all so-called white people, and now we know real history. We know that during the medieval time, black people were ruling, so-called black people, Israelites, were ruling Europe. All right, the evidence of that is overwhelming. To speak against it, to say opposite, just makes you look stupid or hateful. It makes it look, you know, you just ignoring evidence. You're right. You're ignoring proof and evidence. And if you didn't know it, and you're in shock. Then now you know. All right, because you can do your research and find this out for yourself. But what he had in that movie was a rod of iron. He carried a sword. And he carried a mace. It was a mace, it was a rod of iron, and he really did beat people to power with it.
Arise, O Sir Lord of Beef.
Pretty much.
Arise, O milk of magnesia.
Hey, I got this. This
This
is
is Psalms 2:8.
I got Psalms 2:1.
2:1.
It's Psalms 2:1.
He trumped you, brother. He trumped you.
Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
So, you know, it's vanity. Why do you rage and make atonement? Why do you rage and make all these agreements and these councils and these contracts to try to hide who the Lord's true people are?
Right.
And then try to call them a hate group and all this other madness when all they do is bring out history and the truth in the scriptures. And they understand it in the scriptures, what you hear.
Like the black bitches that you took the video of, they was going into what's going to be in the coronation, and you got to pledge allegiance to King Charles and shit.
Yeah.
Hey, look, man, you think the Lord is going to just allow you to rule over us forever? Well, you do think that, but that's a vain thought. That's Ezekiel, I believe, 35. It says we'll rule over these two nations as if the Lord was done. So you're telling us you the most high bitch? Hey, the Lord is finna kill you, devil.
Right.
And put you in chains.
That's it. Verse 2. This is Psalms. You had something?
Let them finish that. Let them finish that song.
Psalms,
bring out some scripture.
Psalms 2:2. It says, "The kings of the earth set themselves."
Ooh, but man,
And say I'm royal.
I'm royal.
Did it not tell you that when evil and multiplied in the earth, when the Edomites got control over the earth in the Bible, that they all set crowns upon themselves, and they're still doing it to this day?
Yes, sir.
The rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, "Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision. Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure."
He's chuckling, so he laughs so hard he's shaking.
It
So you
said,
get that shake laugh. Right.
verse 6 though, it says, "Yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion."
Come on, brother.
You see?
And who is that king? The world ignorantly calls him Jesus Christ.
That's it.
You got to remember when Paul asked who is it to speak it to me, when the Lord said his name, he told him in the Hebrew tongue. And proper nouns don't translate. That's how you know that there was mass wickedness going on. All you gotta do is watch any news broadcast or watch any sports broadcast of any foreign language, and they'll speak in their language, and then when they get to a particular athlete's name,
Ching Chong Wao, Ching Ching Bing, Ching Ba Shim Obama, Michael Jordan, Ching Chong Bao, Charles Barkley, Ching Chong Wao, the Olympics and the NBA, Ching Ching Ching.
that's exactly what they do. So you can't get to the Lord and just call him what you want to in your language.
Right.
Proper nouns do not translate.
And don't come with that transliteration shit, because look, even the word apple, there's a Chinese word for apple, there's a Spanish word for apple. All right, but they don't say mines or whatever the fuck they say apple in Spanish. Right, when they talking about Apple, the company, they still say Apple.
Yes.
I remember something I was looking at recently. I put in a group meeting. They still said Apple. They ain't changed it.
Right.
Because that's a proper noun associated to a company. Just like over here, we didn't change Yamaha or
Right.
Suzuki,
Honda.
Yamaha, Honda.
Right.
What the proper name mean? Because I bet you those words in Japanese actually have a meaning. We didn't say, oh, Yamaha, which means whatever it fucking means. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to remember when Yahweh delivered us from Egypt, he wanted his name. Reason why he made Pharaoh heart so hard so he could get his glory. So you know,
To glorify his name.
right?
magnify
That
his
he's that's it. He's the he's the man. Basically, he's the man. He's the
Right.
head. He's the head. He's the one that's head in charge. Nobody else. Just like Nike. Nike head in charge of gym shoes. Yeah, Howard's head in charge of this whole universe, man. You gotta say his name. You can't translate his name.
bro.
And he sent the men of the Lord to signify it, to preach
And
the true word.
That's it.
It was only given to the prophets.
That's
It
it.
just if you think you can pick up this Bible and just start reading in Genesis and read straight to Matthew, all right, skipping the Apocrypha, by the way, and that you're just gonna understand the Bible. You're gonna read from Genesis to Revelation without the Apocrypha, and you're gonna understand it. And even if you have the Apocrypha, the scriptures clearly say you need a man to teach you.
Yeah.
Yaki says it all the time. The Lord set up particular and special men here on earth to teach everyone the truth, because it's evident that the truth has not been taught. Because the scripture clearly said, when this gospel was taught to the four corners of the earth, then the end shall come. That God loves everybody, and that church doctrine has been taught for 500 plus years. And we've been on the internet since 2007. And look at the state of the earth in that short period of time. All right? Look at all the things that has happened. Why? Because the true men of the Lord are given a true understanding of what's in this book.
And that's scriptural. Let me finish this Psalms 2 and 6. It says, yet have I set my king upon my holy hill of Zion. So while these heathen nations are vying for the next top spot to be the next superpower, all right, and crowning themselves, kings and all that, it says that the Most High had already set his king, all right, and that's Yahweh Shai. And there's going to be a governing body on this show. Subsequently, the governing body of the nation of Israel, who during the time of these kings of this earth, the heathen, all right, that's ruling, Daniel 2 and 44, it says, and in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people. All right, it's only going to be the Israelites.
So listening to that truth, what the Bible said, because I'm gonna stand on the word of the Lord.
Absolutely.
Then that would mean that who's over in the land of Israel?
Impossible.
Because how is it all these other nations have their own sovereignty, et cetera, while the Israelites were back in the land of Israel?
Mm-hmm.
How can that be? So what that means is that, well, somebody is lying.
Why would you have a United Nations?
Why is there a United Nations, United States, or United anything?
Right.
All right, if Israel has gone back to the land, there's supposed to be peace on earth and all people taking a knee to the Israelites and following their ways.
That's it.
All right, and they're not following the ways of the Bible. There's all kind of badness going on.
Right. It says every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess. You see, there's all manner of different mindsets that have some type of sway in this earth today. See, in the kingdom of heaven, right, it's only going to be the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Shai, all right, that is going to be forced upon, the rest of the earth. All right, that's why it says wicked deeds shall bear no rule.
So there will be no pink city.
Exactly.
There'll be no biggest LGB parade
That's
in
it.
Jerusalem.
So let me finish
So-called
this.
Jubilee.
This Daniel 2 and 44, it says, and in the days of these kings shall the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever.
Who was going to consume them?
Exactly, and that's going back to that Psalms 2 that Pops was about to read. If you want to read it, that 2 and 8.
2 and 8, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron.
Break these.
Because somebody, there's 3 words that's come out that I like to hear. Somebody look up servant. All right.
Just
somebody
regular
look.
definition.
Yeah, just a regular definition. You can grab it in the Bible too. Well, what was the other one? He just said.
Read it again, pops.
Okay.
Some-
Ask of me and I shall give thee the heathen for thy inheritance,
Yeah, inheritance. Yeah,
and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
and possession. So inheritance, possession, and servants. Let's get those 3 words.
In the Hebrew, servant is ibad.
All right.
It-
definition of inheritance.
Oh shit, bitch.
No, let us speak.
That's it, right?
It says a thing that is inherited.
Sound like a future Becky concubine.
Definition
kingdom.
of inheritance.
Here's the definition of inheritance. A thing that is inherited.
A thing
Plain and simple.
Man.
that's
So they had to do
inherited.
that's Esau bullshit because then you have to go and ask what's inherited mean. All about to
I get it,
inherit.
y'all.
It's
Yeah,
Esau.
let's get
I
another.
got
I got servant on the etymon line.
There you go.
So this is the etymon line dictionary.
Etymology online.
Servant.
That word mean etymology meaning truth in words. What it actually really means. You find that definition again. Oh, you got it
I got
in
servant.
the etymology. Go ahead.
I got it. Yep.
Go
It
ahead.
says one owning duty of service to a master or lord.
A master.
Yes.
Ah,
Or
So
lord.
it said the nations. So the nations, all the nations on earth are going to have a master, and they're all going to be part of and possessed
Yes.
by that master,
Yeah. Well.
and they're going to be the heritage of that master.
Yeah.
And then there a certain group of people who are joint heirs with that master.
That's right. And I got a quick one. Baruch chapter 3 and 33. Baruch 3 and 33. It says, matter of fact,
Put it up on-
32. And they shall praise me in the land of their captivities and think upon my name and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the way of their fathers, which stand before the Lord. And I will bring them again into the land which I promised with the oath unto their fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And they shall be lords of it. And I will increase them, and they shall not be diminished. And I will make an everlasting covenant with them to be their God, and they shall be my people. And I will no more drive my people of Israel out of the land that I have given them. But the point was that it says that they shall be lords of it. All right. And so here it is. We're going to be the masters and the lords of these heathen nations, thus saith the Lord.
let me finish this one. I'm gonna start at 9. This is Psalms 29. Thou shalt break them with a rod of iron. Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. 10. Be wise now, therefore, O ye kings.
Hey, and it says we're going to break them. We're going to break them from their innate heathenistic way, all right, that they have. That's why it talks about a horse not broken becometh headstrong.
Right.
And so we're going to break them and make them tap out to know that our way is the only righteous spiritual way, and that's the way that we're going to rule. We're not going to allow the heathens to rule with the death style anymore.
Exactly. They're actually going to participate in the light.
That's
Isaiah
it.
8:20. They're going to follow what's written in the word.
That's
All
it.
right, but you have something to God.
No, I'm okay.
All right,
Oh,
what,
the dictionary?
what you got,
Copper.
brother?
I got etymon of inheritance. The real meaning is to make an heir or to appoint as a heir. That's where you get the word inheritance.
Wow.
So so
Heirs to the crown.
heirs to the crown.
Heir to the
And
crown.
if you go to the scriptures,
You made joint heirs.
right, when it goes back to Abraham, you were thinking that someone he can just give it to anybody. The Lord said, no, this has to come from that comes from your own loins
Right.
is your heir.
That's
can-
First Kings 8:19. When he says that thy son that shall come forth out of thy loins shall build a house unto me.
That's
So,
right.
Right.
so that's how you become an heir. You come forth out of somebody's loins, and now you're heir to whatever he has. And
Right.
then whoever comes forth out of your loins are also heirs to that. That's how it works, and that's how it always has worked. Well, go ahead, finish that, brother, and we gonna get these definitions. But
Oh, okay.
brother Kazak, Yahweh, and humble servant Aharon, they put up some
We're gonna read those definitions as
The
well.
brother run across the
Yeah,
across the
yeah.
line. He's
Hey,
officially
yeah,
the king.
congratulations.
So hey man,
So,
shout out to that brother.
Uh,
Let's see you, baby.
I need you my sauce, man.
Come back for a pizza pup.
That's salmon.
That's right. Yeah, you can cook for us anytime.
Okay, we doing what? Anybody read something?
I'll hit these definitions. H51, 59, higher. Then it says Strong's definition, 51, 57. Well, it says similar attendant, retainer, domestic help. Strong's definition, Nahaya, Nahalal.
Like a handmaid servant.
Right.
All right. So your wife is gonna have handmaids. Your
Right.
wives, plural. All right, because every Israelite man is gonna have plenty of wives. We live in a society now where that is shunned or looked down upon. But women can sleep with as many men as they want at this time, and they raising the roof for them.
For their body count.
All right.
It says it is usual since property is something inherited, for example, occupancy or an heirloom, generally an estate, heritage, inherited possession. So if I was a Hebrew Israelite back in 2000 BC, and I spoke Hebrew, my child would inherit Hebrew. They will also inherit the lineage. They'll be in the records. Remember, if you remember when certain people
when they couldn't see the records.
and they'll say, "I'm aware of the Levites." He said, "Well, until we have a priest who do Urim and Thummim to make sure and prove that we don't hold you outside, until we know that for sure,
Right.
you inherit the promises and the glory, and then the language, and then the land, and then the wealth that is passed on from their ancestors to their descendants." So it's going to be not only just the land and the money, but your culture, your customs, your ways.
And the stones, you just talked about a specific stone or something.
The
Or, you know what I'm saying? Those odds, you're gonna have to run that.
That's actually.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and the slaves as well.
As a matter of fact, everything they got over there in those vaults, in those underground vaults in the Vatican, you have to run all.
Hey, well, it says according to their substance shall the restitution
Right,
be.
because we know that they have all the stuff that they took from the temple in 70 AD
Yeah.
in there.
Now, in the law itself, it says we're going to inherit the heathens.
Right.
All right. That's in the Revelation 2. It says, about the slaves, even as I received them my father. That's a part of that inheritance.
That's it. The world, the whole world is ours.
Hey,
That's our heirloom. The world.
Isaiah said the gates gonna be open continually.
I got it.
Go ahead.
This is Isaiah chapter 60. I start at 5. It says, "Then shall you see and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee."
The sea meaning all the other people,
All
the
of
other
them.
nations.
17 other
Right.
nations.
It should be converted
Converted
unto thee.
unto thee.
Yeah, so they all going to become tributaries.
Hey, when you look up that word fear that you just read, when you look it up in the Hebrew, it actually goes into awe. You're going to be in awe
Yeah.
of how much it is. Hold on.
Like,
You got knocked on your door. No, that's got to be David's portion. I ain't supposed to get that much.
Right.
Nah, this your shit.
Right. It says the forces of the Gentiles shall come to thee. And the forces goes into the riches, right? It says the multitude of camels shall cover thee, the dromedaries of Midian and Ephah. All they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense.
It's going to be trains of camels
Right.
loaded down
Right.
with just stuff on it,
That's it.
right?
And they shall show forth the praises of Yahweh. All the flocks.
And so the nations of the world aren't calling on the name of Yahweh,
There you go.
but they are.
But this,
They're going to learn.
They're gonna learn.
so see, those people that's over there in Israel and Jerusalem now, this hasn't occurred for them.
Y'all as weak as hell. Y'all ain't got no dromedaries.
Right.
Like you say, they're gonna learn it because we gonna learn them.
That's
it.
right.
That's it.
How your mama used to learn?
You're right.
I'm gonna bust that bitch going out on that
I'm
ass.
gonna learn their ass today.
I'm gonna learn your ass today. That's what I'm saying.
That's my
I'm gonna
favorite.
learn your ass today.
That's what Larry used to say. 3 Stooges. I'll learn you.
That'll learn you.
Yeah.
verse 7, it says, all the flocks of Kedar shall be gathered unto thee. The rams of Nebowith shall minister unto thee. They shall come up with acceptance on my altar.
Minister unto you meaning serving you.
That's right.
That's right.
So you know whatever that is, cooking, cleaning, building. You know, Moab is your wash pot.
Paying
You know, and you know Moab give out the bomb massages.
I mean, paying Obians.
They some clean
They
So-
gonna be some dishwashing motherfuckers.
Man, paying Obians, bowing their face down to your
They
shit.
got Issachar in the fucking kitchen cooking the food, washing all the fucking dishes.
Yeah, that triangle. Those days about to be over.
That's it.
All right.
It says, they shall come with acceptance on my altar, and I will glorify the house of my glory.
Mm.
Who are these that fly as a cloud as the doves to their windows? Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of Yahweh thy power.
So they're gonna be breaking themselves.
That's it. Like you say all the time, a guy got a beautiful daughter. Master, here.
Yeah, they actually gonna be excited that their daughter actually gets to be a concubine.
Exactly.
That they get to be
Maybe they can find
a
favor.
servant
That's a
because
privilege.
it's gonna be a privilege.
That's it.
This is, you know, they're gonna be excited. They daughter, my daughter get to go to the big house.
The king.
I know I never see it, but at least my baby will.
That's
I
right.
believe it was the king of
So you think?
gave his daughter to King Solomon.
You know,
Wow.
Get to the steps. I hate
Yeah,
that.
he built the whole crib. The whole
Canopy.
crib. And it's
Yeah, he built the whole grid.
Yeah, it's gonna be wrong to King. All you heathens gonna love us.
Yeah.
The fucking black
but
bitches
here's the
gonna
flip
be
side of
in
it. You know, the crazy part of it is that they love and hate us. We're now.
Already.
It's like a love-hate
Oh yeah.
relationship with Jacob
Paul
because
Mooney said it best.
everything that you know, everything that's exciting in society is Jacob. You know, if you watch the
TV,
television,
everything.
when you watch television and the cartoons and the movies, the music is either going to be hip hop or it's going to be so-called Latin based.
Yeah.
You're gonna hear right, and I mean that's what it is, man.
Everybody want to be a nigga, so it's time to be a nigga.
He did say it the best.
I got some.
Go ahead,
This
brother.
is Joel 3. I'm gonna start at 5. And I'm gonna read down. It says, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and ye have carried into your temples my goodly and pleasant things, the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem ye have sold unto the Grecians, that ye may remove them far from their border. Behold, I will raise them out of the places whither ye have sold them, and I will return your recompense upon your own
Right,
head.
so when he raises them, what are they going to be doing? When he raises them out of, they got scattered to the four corners of the earth. When he raises them, what are they going to be doing? They're going to be prophesying the word of the Lord. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're being raised out of the places where we were scattered. You are witnessing, eyeballing, as they say in the Marine Corps, you eyeballing me, son? All right? You are eyeballing prophecy happen right in front of your face.
That's
All right? Bring up, you got something to say, Benji?
It's a little more.
Because we're gonna switch it up now. We're gonna talk about a whole nother event. What you got, brother?
Basically, you said we talk about prophecy, and it's one of the prophecies that's going to happen. It's Isaiah 49 and 22. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will lift up my hand to the Gentiles and set my standard to the people, and they shall bring thy sons in thy arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face towards the earth,
Albions.
and lick up the dust of thy feet. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord Yahweh, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me.
There it is, man. All right. All the nations are gonna bow down to the service of the Lord. Man.
That's right.
To him and his people. That being
Right.
right. Bow down. You're right, brother. That was a West Side Connection.
That's it.
All right.
Go
ahead, brother.
Same vibration. This is First Corinthians 15 and verse 24. It says, then cometh the end, when he shall have delivered up the kingdom to Yahweh, even the Father, when he shall have put down all rule and all authority
Ooh.
and power.
Everybody getting put down, man.
That's right.
You know,
Like
like Bevo said, knock him out, knock you out. Right? The Lord coming to put down everybody.
and the reason why he want to do it is because he done stole the shit. Micah 2:1. Woe to them that devise iniquity
work evil upon the beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it's in the power of their hands. They covet fields. Oh, I like that. And they take them by violence. Gangster.
So this is how basically Esau, Edom, all right, got to crown themselves, put crowns on when they're not royals.
Absolutely.
And got the whole world. They raped, robbed, murdered, and pillaged. All right, America. I mean, you've heard so many heathen, mostly women, speak on it. On different platforms. How America became the most wealthy and powerful country off the genocide of the so-called natives. All right, and then the rape, robbery, and murder, slavery of the so-called African Americans. So-called. All right, so the inhabitants, the indigenous populations of the Americas, they committed a form of genocide and took all their wealth, their gold, and put them into slavery.
That's right.
All right, and then when their numbers got weak and they couldn't do the work anymore, they went over to the west coast of Africa. All right, and they started snatching people out of Africa. All right, and they also took them from Portugal and Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that was, matter of fact, that was the first batch of soldiers in 14.
Mm-hmm.
I mean slaves in beginning of the time of the Renaissance, early 15th century. All right, and they Portugal and Spain when it failed. All right, but anyway, we're gonna talk about another story that I came across today. Is that Israel just got the green light to act on Iran separate of America or any NATO nation, any NATO treaty.
Right.
So somebody can see if they can look that article, see if they can find an article or something on it.
On my way.
All right, but supposedly Israel has been given the green light to act on its own, and it's just funny that all that happens right around the time that everything else is going on. Mm-hmm. With the whole collapse of the banking systems and the money system. More last week or this week that just passed, you had a whole bunch of more small banks that collapsed, and eventually it's just going to be J.P. Morgan, which is one of the biggest in the West.
Who just took over Signature. They took all their assets.
So you're going to have J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, and Wells Fargo. All right, if I'm not mistaken, those will probably be the three. All right, and that's it. Whatever the other two big ones are, but all the smaller banks are being swallowed up. Mm-hmm. All right, so you got that going on. But this thing with Israel acting, somebody get because the least of the flock shall draw them out, because that prophecy has to come to pass. World War III doesn't go full blown until the sea hip is forced. All right, because it's gonna, or when it starts to become, or they start giving it to everyone, and you can't. Life becomes impossible if you don't have it.
And the debt ceiling debacle with Congress
in June,
Senate and versus the House, then vote. Joe Biden said he's going to veto the current version, so forth. So they go do this every couple of years anyway. But they're pushing it down.
I know it's June. I know June, early June, first week of June is the deadline. June 1st, actually. Yes. But not even without that, it doesn't matter. It all changes over digital. That's right. I mean, it already has, but it's going to go full blown. Because pretty soon the paperback, the greenback is going to be, tender for your fires. So you can cook your ramen noodles.
I was finding that article. What was y'all saying? This goes into effect June 1st.
The CB. No. It's like that's coming too, but that's in conjunction. But it's the debt ceiling. They said if it's not done by only till June, then we default, and we can't pay our bills.
And all that's on the table at the same time, and all that threat of that happening, we know eventually it's going to happen. They can't keep kicking the can down the road.
It's always been done.
All right, and then it really doesn't and it doesn't matter if they
There's
kick
no
it down.
more road to kick the
There's no more road to kick it down. All right, they didn't hit that wall. You know how these women hit that wall?
All
right.
Bring it on.
Now that they chubby with all them different baby daddies, now they want to settle down and be treated like a queen.
All that. Bitch, different seeds.
You know,
bring it out.
I got that precept for you.
Go ahead, brother.
Oh, you got it? Go ahead, brother.
Go on, brother. This is Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Edom and his purposes, that he hath purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out
surely he shall make their habitations
and
desolate.
And Timon is an Edomite stronghold. There's also a lot of Amalekites out of they come out of Timon. The Amalekites that went over to the land of Israel. So the Amalek, the Lord said He's going to have war with Amalek from generation to generation, proving that the false Christian doctrine that the Edomites have been done away is a lie. That's just yet another scripture-based receipt that proves that that's a false statement or a false doctrine that they teach. And it's simply being because now we know who the Edomites are, and the Edomites have been trying to duck and dodge their heritage and duck and dodge their punishments. All right, and think just about lying about who they are and calling themselves Caucasian or white, that's going to prevent the prophecy from happening, and that's not the case. There's nothing you can do to stop this prophecy. The kingdom of heaven comes in with the fall of Edom. The two go hand in hand. The kingdom of heaven comes in with all nations and principalities being under the foot of King David and the 144,000 under the authority of Yahweh Shai. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That is how the kingdom of heaven comes in. No kingdom in any place in time in history has ever been set up by peace and love, and no kingdom has ever fallen by peace and love. Kingdoms are, brother, I love you. Here you go. Give me
I want the eastern portion.
Yeah, you just here's open the gates, let them in. Thank you.
But now that you got it now, show some love and give it to me.
Well, I guess I have to return the favor.
So when has this ridiculous scenario ever happened in history?
Right.
What you see is when some guy start talking about give me the kingdom, you see all the men on the ramparts with helmets and spears and arrows and pouring down hot coals and fires and trying to, bust down gates and go over walls.
Exactly.
That's what happens. And women are hid, all the women are hid in underground inside of rooms and stuff, hoping that when the doors get open, it's not the enemy soldiers.
Exactly.
All right, because when those doors open up, if it ain't your men, you about to get ran through.
You the booty.
You about to get passed around and passed out, sold and scattered. That's what's about to happen, and the kingdom of heaven is going to come in with great violence. And people, you've been sold this lie that you're just going to die and float off to this place. The kingdom of heaven is going to be here on earth, and the scripture said that the least of the flock is going to set off the things. It's going to. Did anybody find anything on that story?
Yeah, I got it right here.
You got it? Okay, Bob.
Watch. This is allisrael.com news. So All Israel News. Washington says Israel has freedom of action against Iranian threat.
Freedom of action.
That's the name of the article. U.S. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan recently clarified that the U.S. Biden administration gives Israel freedom of action against Iranian nuclear threat. And if you read through this, and I'm going to jump down to the paragraph. You read through it, they want to keep Iran from having nuclear missiles, which I'm pretty sure already got them.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like how, Esau wants to arm himself to the teeth while taking all the arms from everyone else. Because Esau Edom is afraid of losing power and recompense coming against him. That's what it really comes down to. All right, and these nations are actually chomping at the bit because it's not just the Israelites that's going to get at them. The heathens are going to get at them too, because they did a lot of dirt to the other nations. They really and to the nations that were part of that crafty council with them. They really screwed up. They really messed over Elam, all right, and then they really messed over Ham, and Ham, and China's in a position of strength. So no matter what they did to Moab has definitely been getting them back. All that opiate stuff that they did to Moab, at the turn of the century, I think Moab has definitely got them back even more so. But Moab jacked them up, man. So well, go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna jump down, right? This is great. This is prophecy. The best way to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon is an effective agreement, concluded Sullivan. While the Biden administration clearly prefers a diplomatic solution to the Iranian nuclear crisis, it is keeping a potential military solution on the table by giving the green light for a potential Israeli military strike against Iran's nuclear sites.
And if they strike Iran, right, If they strike them, we already know the Carmenians. It's all going down. You got to remember, Iran is not alone. Iran is not only do they have the BRICS, but now they have these Arab nations, these Ishmaelite nations have all unified.
Remembering themselves, yes. That's right.
You know, go ahead, brother.
And also, this article said they have material to make 5 nuclear bombs. But what's great about this is the fact that Esau, the hammer of the earth, is talking about diplomatic means. Hey, read that precept, huh?
It's Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoil, and thou wouldst not spoil, and this less teacher this
dealeth treacherously.
Dealeth treacherously, Slacky. And they deal not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they should deal treacherously with thee.
Right. Before you speak, brother, somebody get that definition of treacherously. Wasn't there a rapper named Trench?
Yes.
Trench.
All right. And when he always walk around with a machete or a chain, kind of treacherous,
and
a baseball bat.
And he was down with OPP.
Right.
And he was kind of treacherous. He was that backdoor, side door nigga, huh?
Hell yeah, he was a weak link.
Did he leave yet?
Hey, on Jason Lyric, he's sitting there, he on some gangster shit, talking about killing nigga. Then he said, now leave me, I'm trying to catch the Holy Ghost.
What the fuck?
He was listening to the choir, man.
Man, I got it.
Wow.
This is the definition of treacherous. Characterized by faithlessness or readiness to betray trust, deceptive, untrustworthy or unreliable, unstable and insecure, dangerous, hazardous, betraying or likely to betray faith or confidence, dangerous, and that's basically it. Unstable in this one.
Kind. So Esau was talking about diplomatic means. Hey, this ain't the old Esau usually fuck you up. What happened? You made a whole excuse and lie about weapons of mass destruction. It's gonna fuck up a country. But now you're talking about some diplomatic ways, the best way, but we'll leave violence on the table. No, it's because you at the fucking end. These other nations are strong. All right, Iran, you know, they got that protection. That Ezekiel 38 prophecy.
And Iran is also a strong nation. They're not weak. They got the capability to fight you. That's right.
They said they got the uranium to make 3 nukes. And that's what you know about. Which means they probably got more than that. Right. And then what they got in their back pocket, all right, is Ezekiel 38. Right. 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach, and Tubal, and prophesy against them. That is the land where Russia is at, man. So it's talking about the modern day Russians. And say, thus says the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against you, O Gog, the chief prince. Whose phone is this?
Oh, my bad.
And say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal. And I will turn thee back and put hooks to thy jaws. I will bring thee forth in all thy army, horses and horsemen. So the Lord is going to make this war happen. World War III will happen. The Lord hosts muster the host of the battle.
And this is something that's very close. I mean, this could be weeks, months, and not years. This is something that's very, very close.
That's right.
All right.
No.
All of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Persia, which is Iran, all right, they just changed their name to Persia a few decades ago, man.
Right there on the screen.
Oh, damn.
Carmania, under the Arsacid Empire in 2010, Carmania was a vassal kingdom ruled by King Balash.
210 AD.
It's like 210 AD. It's like Carmania was a vassal kingdom ruled by a certain Balash who was defeated and captured by Ardashir, king of Persia. So Carmania goes back to Persia, and if you go to Persia, it got changed to Iran, and that happened just like you said, no more than
30 years ago, 40 years ago.
Persia, the first on the list, Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them were showing him, and then we see the Hamites linking up with who? Russia and China.
Yep.
Which China's in league with Russia.
And with all that death that's going on in Sudan right now, Sudan is joining on to them as well.
That's right.
And then the Sudanese are a heavily Muslim country. So those Ishmaelites are gonna link up with them.
Mhm.
All right, so they're gonna fight right along with them. So they fall right in with the
Right
right.
now, you meet that Carmanian?
Yeah. When he finished that, you can read that. We'll get ready to wrap.
Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. And didn't the Arabians just work out a deal with Russia and China for their oil? And this shit is a wrap. The Russia, hey, let me keep going. Be thou prepared, be thou prepared and prepare for thyself. Thou and all thy company are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. So the Lord put that spirit on Russia to be at odds with America over this whole time for this purpose here.
Yep.
That's why he had the hooks in their jaws. Because you was going to be the feet of the beast, the bare feet in Revelation, the feet to walk this bitch into destruction.
Yep.
You're the part of Esau that's going to destroy Esau, man.
Yes. He said they're destroyed by themselves, All right? So Esau is going to be destroyed by Esau. A house divided cannot stand. So go ahead and get that Carmanian scripture.
You fuck with Iran, you got a lot to deal with.
That's right.
Bitch.
All right, and for the record, I just wanted to pull that up. I was getting this. Iran, in 1935, it adopted Iran. It used to be Persia, and in 1935, it was Iran. And technically, it's not even Iran or Iran. It's actually Aryan. You should say the same as the Aryan nation.
Right, that's true Aryans, and you got these stupid racist clowns that refer to themselves as white, and they're not white. They call themselves Aryan. The Aryans ain't got nothing to do with you.
And Aryan goes back to
geniuses.
And that's why if you go do your research, you'll find those like, well, this doesn't make sense. But then you go pull the whole conclusion of the matter, you see the debauchery about Esau Edom and his madness. This is 2nd Ezra 15 and 28. Behold, in horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. Also the Carmanians, which is the Iranians, Persians or Iranians, raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. And if you ever see a wild boar, which is a male virile pig that's wild, they will eat anything, even
they'll attack
anything. They'll eat a human remains, bone and all. Yeah, whole night. Yes, sir.
And the Flintstones.
That's right. Right. And with and go forth wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come. That's why. That's one of the reasons. You wonder why is America attacking Iran, which seems to be some small nation. This nation is an ancient nation with ancient wealth. They have wealth that goes back for thousands and thousands of years, and they have been part of many conquests of the world.
And I bet you they got a lot of gold and silver.
Yes.
I'm willing to bet they have a lot.
That's not right.
And they probably got gold and silver that's not even accounted for.
And they got to take into account Russia.
That's right.
They start slapping them sanctions on Iran. Russia was fucking with them already.
They have agreements with them. Mm-hmm. That's right. And so it says.
And then they got to think about all the pocket nukes, the suitcase nukes, that because they got records of what was destroyed,
right.
And they got records of some shit that should have been destroyed that's missing.
Right.
Well, that shit is somewhere. Mm-hmm. Russia is a guard to these people.
Yeah, especially with all these soldier age young men that's come across the border. Yeah. That's a whole other issue we didn't even get to.
Right.
I mean, I was watching some stuff on that today, and it was kind of frightening. Man.
And from China. From all from many different many of these places that are actually at odds with America.
Yeah.
So it's like they've got ground forces already here.
Insurgents already here.
Yeah. And any mercenaries that could have come up from South America, the battle hardened, guys be running around the jungle shooting up shit all over South America, man. Macheting people to death.
Now you remember about
dressed like trees.
A good 10 years ago, when we were dealing, or maybe 7-8 years ago, when we were dealing on the internet, and then the Chinese mafia had hacked and started fucking with us. And they hacked my brother's stuff.
They sent that letter.
Yeah.
They're talking about some. They sent a triads on you right now.
Yes.
They said they got sleeper cells already over here. They threatened us and all that shit. Fuck you, motherfucker.
And this was over 10 years ago.
Yeah. They put $10,000 on my Sprint account and then took it off.
And then kept messing with it. And they had shut down one of my brothers had this very similar. We had the same initials, and so they thinking it was me because of my website. They shut his stuff off. Had my whole family. We had turmoil and had my father and my brothers coming against us and so forth. Which when we broke it down to them, of course, it was cool, but it was a lot of drama. But they said specifically, we have sleeper cells and we know where you live. And they said our address. They said you live at blah 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 blah.
Right.
We're going to have people come over there and kill you and so forth.
Problem
We said,
is
bring it on.
Here's the thing though, is that it's not like we're right next door to Chinatown.
That's right.
Moab can't come over here like that. Moab come through the hood, start trying to do stuff like that. Triads or not, the hood gonna come against them. It ain't gonna be good.
Yeah, fuck them triads. I cussed them out in their own spot.
And we should be.
And they welcome me back.
And the funny part about it is they were talking about they were from Chinese, but they were talking about Singapore. They was talking about like Taiwan. All that's China. See that the offshoots of China and Japan, a lot Moab and Ammon are Taiwan, Thailand, Singapore. That's all China and Japan.
They go
back to those are offshoots.
I got a quick one.
Indonesia, all that.
Yes,
All of it. Deuteronomy 3:22. Ye shall not fear them, for the Lord your power, he shall fight for you.
Yeah, Isaiah 54:17. No weapon formed against us shall prosper, man. The only thing you can do to us is what the Lord allow you to do.
That's it.
And the Lord promised us protection.
That's it.
This is a little bit more than this. 2 Ezra 15:30. Also the Carmenians raging in wrath shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them.
So when this happens, who do you think they're coming against? They're coming against the Israelis. And the power structure of Esau. That's what this is talking about. It's written. So it's good. So the least of the flock shall draw them out. Who's the them?
And shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians, and then shall the dragons.
And Assyria touches Israel.
Yeah, Assyria. At one point, you look at ancient Assyria. Assyria ruled Israel. They took over the northern kingdom land. They counted as the kingdom of Assyria.
Shalmaneser company. That's right. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature.
That's why these red.
Wait. It says so. Basically, Israel gonna win this particular battle. So hurry up, Amalek. Do your due.
Push the goddamn button.
Do your thing. Go ahead, small headers. You do your thing.
Right. Don't be scared.
Don't be scared.
Yeah, and then march your zeets right into war, man. Go ahead.
And then shall the dragons have their upper hand, remembering their nature, and if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled and keep silence to their power and shall flee.
So the Lord had already set it up, man, when the Carmanians gonna put their foot in your asses, man. That's part of, and they're gonna eventually end up getting defeated by the Lord anyway. But nevertheless, they're gonna win their battle, man. It's Russia and the Carmanians it's over for you. Esau's about to destroy himself. Art thou not that kingdom, that last kingdom, which shall destroy thyself? Exactly what the Saint Benji said. Russians are Edomites too, and they're gonna destroy these Western Edomites.
He keeps on showing these icons. That's what. Freaking Pew.
Oh, yeah, he did.
And that's spiritual too.
Yeah.
That's the spiritual.
And matter of fact, I just got a new cachet book. I got a whole book that's full of some of the icons that Putin been showing. Her book is full of nothing but dark icons.
Perfect.
I can't wait to go into that book.
He said, all right, America, I got something for you. Look at this.
The Lord is definitely on this man's side with that.
Because they're showing you that. What he's showing you is that the angels and the relics, the angels and the relics of the Lord were all melanated people. But yet, and all of a sudden, when the West rose and America came into power, and and the Western powers came into power, meaning the European countries, all of a sudden the Lord and all the heavenly images turned so-called Caucasian.
That's right.
All right. And Putin has been presenting the receipts and the evidence is that that's all a lie.
That's right.
We tell you every week, week in and week out, that this man, this ruling over you and ruling over this earth, like that funny looking dude who just got crowned, They're liars. All right, they're not royals. They're matter of fact, they're the lowest people on the human.
He had his mama a queen for 40, 50 years.
You know, they're the lowest. They're the lowest on the totem pole of mankind. He said he was gonna put the bases of men are in rulership.
And he did that.
All right, and that was a punishment to the Israelites,
to the world,
to the world. He's like, not only I'm gonna put you down, but I'm gonna put this weakest worm over you.
That's right.
Right? This little, daddy short stroke pink motherfucker. Right?
Verse 33. And from the land of the Assyrians shall the enemy besiege them, and consume some of them. And in their host shall be fear and dread and strife among their kings. Behold, clouds from the east and from the north unto the south, and they are very horrible to look upon, full of wrath and storm. They shall smite one upon another, and they shall smite down a great multitude of stars upon the earth, even their own star. And blood shall be from the sword into the belly, and number men into the cow stuff. And we keep going, but
wow.
There's gonna be a lot of death.
Yes.
A lot of death and a lot of bloodshed.
And there shall be a great fearfulness and trembling upon earth, and they that see the wrath shall be afraid, and trembling shall come upon them.
One last scripture, brother. Go to second Ezra. You already there.
Gotcha.
Go to 11 and 40. Are thou not that last?
Gotcha.
Second 11 it's gonna be, and they're gonna be destroyed by themselves, just like Saint Benji said. The Lord is cold, man. And think about it, man. The Lord is a master chess player. When He set up all these things that happen throughout time, from 30 years to 50 years to 100 years to 1,000 years, but it all falls into line in His time frame. And for people to get away with lies until the lie exposes them. And then all of a sudden at the end, to be destroyed by themselves. The Lord is cold. The Lord is cold. I'm gonna prove you. I'm gonna show that you're a liar. I'm gonna make you a nobody and a nothing and an embarrassment and shameful spewing shall appear upon thy glory. Your women gonna turn on you. Your women gonna be the traps and going whatever. And then I'm gonna destroy you with yourself. It's absolutely amazing, man. This is the coldest. If this was a movie, man.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, brother.
Man, this second Ezra 11 and 40. And the fourth overcame all the beasts that were passed, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth with much wicked oppression. And so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit.
Right? And they sit upon the throne of lies. Everything about Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, his rulership, even the way he rules over the people, everything's with deceit, man. Almost every policy that they got set up actually violates the Constitution. A lot of things that they're doing to the citizens.
Yes, sir.
From taxes to driver's license to so many things.
From federal to state.
They're robbing and raping the people and breaking the law of the land while doing it, and the people have no clue. All right, go ahead.
It says, for the earth hast thou not judged with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek.
Okay, one more scripture after that one. You gotta get that to him who does evil to himself, because he screws up his own people, man. All right.
For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hast cast down the walls such as did thee no harm. Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride.
So now that wickedness is finally reached into the heavens, and that's why the Lord sent the men of the Lord to preach the word, the truth. And now the Lord's Spirit is activating on the earth, and these prophecies are popping. They're popping, they're moving. All of a sudden.
And thy pride into the mighty. The highest also have looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled, and therefore appear no more. Thou eagle, nor thy...
Wow, because you think about it, man. The ultimate thing they were doing with this whole alphabet lifestyle thing was to get to pedophilia, and now that's full blown. Child trafficking, and pedophilia, and all that stuff is happening. And I mean, hell, you had all these people in the Pentagon last year got busted for child porn, but then that story just disappeared.
Damn right.
All right, you never heard nothing else about it. All that cocaine, they got caught up on the Chase JP Morgan ship. That story just disappeared.
Huh?
All right, exactly, huh? And then if you're a television personality and you question to say anything about Building 7, you get fired.
That's it.
Yeah, Building 7, huh?
What?
Right.
Who taught you how to count?
The highest also looked upon the proud times and behold, they are ended and his abominations are fulfilled, and therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body, that all the earth may be refreshed and may return.
And for any of you ICIU members who might be listening, Nate Highhorse, that was actually talking about Rome, but we can equate it to America now. That's right. But go ahead.
That all the earth,
America, that's that little horn, that fourth beast of Daniel.
That's right. That's it. That all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from it. That all the earth may be refreshed.
And now, basically, that was when the Roman Empire fell and became, when the Edomites were no longer ruling, when it stopped being the pagan Roman Empire, it became the Holy Roman Empire, with so-called black people ruled Rome and all of Europe for that 1,000-year period up until the Renaissance, 1492, when one of the last strong so-called dark strongholds fell, which was Portugal and Spain. All right.
That all the earth may be refreshed and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made it.
So there it is, man. So they're gonna be destroyed by themselves. All right. So with that,
This Sirach 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his good.
Right. So everything is stored up. The election put on, like it says in Job. Right. All the gold, the riches you got, you're not gonna get the joy, man. You think you're gonna go ahead and chip the world and sit on top of your throne, your high horse, and just run everything? Nope.
In the fullness of his sufficiencies, he shall be in straits.
Yeah. So I'm glad you got all that gold up. Go ahead, brother. Yeah. So it's good you got all that gold out of America. Make sure you get whatever's left in the votes.
Get all of it.
Get the rest, because we're gonna need that shit.
That's right.
All right. That's that.
And people don't understand. We have over 100 some different nations, several hundred nations out here, who have some of them going back for thousands and thousands of years. They have wealth that is inconceivable to the mind because we haven't seen it. But they're talking about
they don't need
exactly when the Chinese had gold that was in America. And then they asked for the gold back, and America sent them some tungsten gold. There's when you say thousands and thousands of pounds and bars of gold, and tons and different each country. And you talking about the wealth and an overwhelming majority of that got stolen from us and our nation and our people.
America stole it here. I mean, they even stole it from their own citizens once they set it up.
1930s.
Right? They swapped it because they supposedly they gathered up all the gold and put it in Fort Knox.
And it's nothing.
But they can't. And most of the soldiers that have had that duty, after their services over, they tell you. Go there.
Get it out of there.
So it's it is what it is, man.
Y'all gotta make streets with that gold.
That's
right. For us.
And that's the whole land.
That's right. Hey, so with that, man, we're gonna give all praise, all honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakadash.
Allah.
Turn those yours old.